Thank you. I feel like I should be doing some tap dancing or something up here on the stage today. So I want to echo Matthew's sentiments in thanking Amy and Jake for the opportunity to come and speak with you today. It's really got me thinking about things that we can improve upon as it relates to creating a bike-friendly culture within the Innovation Quarter. There's some follow-up conversations, I think, to be had with my friend Philip Summers on some of those initiatives. So thank you all for the opportunity to come and speak with you. And am I going to just do this? Okay, great. So first I'd like to anchor you in the Innovation Quarter and who we are. For those of you who may not be familiar, we are a mixed-use innovation district anchored by Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center, just a few blocks to the south of us here, made up of over 100 companies, 5 academic institutions, thousands of workers, workforce trainees, and degree-seeking students, as well as a number of apartments and condominiums. And our mission is to drive economic growth and build vibrant community. And one of the ways that we do that, which was mentioned in my bio, is through some of our programmatic and event-related activities in our publicly accessible spaces, so those parks and paths that were mentioned. I think those were highlighted fairly well, but I'll just repeat them briefly. We sort of theme those around cultural programs and events, educational, entrepreneurial. We have a wonderful sci-tech STEM opportunity for children within the community, as well as wellness. And so I'll be speaking to you today through that lens of wellness and building community. So this is what I'll be talking about as it relates to cycling encouragement, the support and facilitation of some of the bike-friendly events in the Innovation Quarter, the marketing and communication not only of those events, but storytelling to promote and engage the workforce with cycling in the Innovation Quarter, as well as an investment into some of those physical assets such as bike parking, of course our wonderful bike share, and ending on the Long Branch Trail, which is a fascinating story, which I'll be focusing on. And I have a colleague here who can help answer some of those, the questions of the riddle that is the Long Branch Trail, which is very exciting. So bike-friendly events. So I think I had the pleasure of actually meeting Matthew, I think, circa 2013 or 14, and I had you come and speak to the tenets of the Innovation Quarter on the city's bicycle and pedestrian initiatives, which was a great opportunity to highlight what was being done and align with some of the city's initiatives. Since then, we have partnered together on the walk and roll event that Matthew mentioned. We were super excited to be the host location and to still be that host location, as well as a financial contributor of the walk and roll Winston-Salem event. Latrina will be speaking to us shortly, and I know that she'll speak to the wonderful culture of cycling at Inmar, led I think in great part by a gentleman named Matthew Alloy, who's not here with us today. But Inmar has been doing these cycling meetups for many, many years, and we're kind enough to partner with the Innovation Quarter to open up that opportunity to promote a cycling event to the broader Innovation Quarter community, and that's held in May. May is a very busy bike month for us. We feel that, and we fully support it. So we love that event. And then of course, the Winston-Salem Cycling Classic. I don't know, I think Michael's no longer in the room, but we'll learn a lot more about the Cycling Classic later today. But it's worth mentioning. This event brings over 30,000 attendees to Winston-Salem, not only from our immediate community or surrounding counties, but the city, from the country, internationally. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us at the Innovation Quarter to highlight the development and the investment of our city into its future, to look and see what we have going on. Our grass is still suffering from Gears and Guitars concert, so I have to shed a tear every year for that in Bailey Park. But it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us in the room. So it's very exciting that that's housed in the Innovation Quarter. So marketing and communications. We have a wonderful marketing and communications team at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center, and their focus is storytelling. So how can we get that messaging across in creative ways? And one avenue is the Hub, which is a blog. So for example, while we might not be facilitating a particular event, we will use our platform to cross-promote it across the various tenants and the residents, as well as our broader distribution list of over 10,000 2,000 individuals who have just signed up to learn about what's going on in the Innovation Quarter. So these are just a couple screenshots taken from the hub. One was highlighting our neighborhood bike shop, Cycle Your City, just a block away. And then, of course, one of our most read stories actually was on the National Cycling Center and the efforts within Winston-Salem to be a more bike-friendly community. Physical assets. So you'll see at the bottom picture here, someone had mentioned, bike parking. So each of the buildings that have been redeveloped in the northern district of the Innovation Quarter have a 6-bike rack. I'd be curious to know what some of the cyclists think of this particular model of the rack, but we have 9 total in the Innovation Quarter. So in addition to outside of each of the buildings, we have 3 along Long Branch Trail. We have 1 in Bailey Park. We also have interior storage. So in the Bowman Gray Center for Medical Education, there is interior bike storage available. And I was pleased to learn that about 8% of the 250 students in that building are utilizing interior bike storage. We also have showers in a number of the buildings, so that makes it really nice. If you're riding your bike from Long Branch Trail coming into 525 at Vine to go to work, you can grab a shower and you don't look like you've just got off the Tour de France that Matthew mentioned.
I have a question.
Yes.
I saw that there's a nice glass window, you can see the bikes. Is that a free service to students? They can store that?
It is.
They don't have to pay to store their bicycles?
No, yep.
But you saw Inmars. I mean, what you saw is where Inmar stores their bikes. Bowman Gray is, you access, you can't see the bikes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you. That's, of course, free for Inmar employees as well, I assume.
It is free for MR employees, however, the employees have to get badge access, so it's only for MR employees that the storage, that's the glass storage.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of encouraging for me that you could see it. It wasn't locked away.
Right.
You see the bikes, it's a biking community.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for that feedback. So that's an encouraging percentage. I think, anecdotally, I think Matthew can speak to this as well in terms of the usage that we see for our exterior bike parking. It's not a high percentage. I see Philip's bike every day out there, and maybe you can speak to those numbers further. But I don't know if we're there yet in terms of that tipping point and that increased usage from some of our working population. The students, for example, Wake Downtown, which is Wake Forest University's first satellite location, primarily utilizes the shuttle to and from the campus. It's over 3.5 miles away. And then, of course, the Zagster Bike Share. So we were very excited to have the opportunity to partner with Zagster to be part of this network, this bike share network. We have 3 stations in the Innovation Quarter. The one pictured here, of course, at the corner of North Patterson and 5th Street. We also have 2 along Long Branch Trail, one outside of Inmar, which Inmar has supported and sponsored, as well as just off of Fogle Street to the south of Long Branch Trail, sponsored by Wake Forest University. So Long Branch Trail, I'm sure many of you know, is a 1.7 mile pedestrian and greenway trail that runs north to south from Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard down to Rams Drive, where you can then link up to the Salem Creek Connector, go to Salem Lake, you can go to the School of the Arts. I also live in West Salem and enjoy this trail and the connectivity that it provides. So this particular project began around 2006 or so, when the medical center was looking to acquire and accumulate land for this future innovation district. So in conversations with Norfolk Southern at that time, this land was accumulated, resulting in the trail. None of this would be possible without the strong partnerships in place from both the City of Winston-Salem, NCDOT Rail Division, PART, as well as additional financial contributions by the Medical Center and Wexford Science and Technology. Yes?
I assume what's called a low-speed electric bike is allowed on the Long Branch Trail. Is that true?
So we don't allow motorized vehicles on Long Branch Trail following sort of the city's guidelines around its greenway system. So I should add that this is, as Matthew said, part of the greenway system. So technically, no.
What?
I don't think. Well, no, if let's say it's enforced.
So you're not allowed to ride your bike, or e-bike
motor vehicles, it's a different story.
But
An electric bike should be treated just like any
a
other.
regular bicycle.
So electric bikes.
Low-speed electric bike is allowed on this trail.
Yes, yes.
Are the birds,
That's very, very important for the future.
are the birds allowed on the trail?
So right. So we are we
I asked if the birds were allowed on the trail.
So at the moment, we are looking forward to the Public Works Committee and City Council's vote and continued conversation. I believe this month in November we'll learn some more. So at this time we are following the city on their decision of the birds. So currently they are active on the trail.
They are.
Currently, yes.
We'll actually have a time for like collaborative discussion later on if we want to bring up birds and stuff like that, but
Okay.
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later.
Thank you.
And I do want to give a shout out to Stimmel, a landscape architecture firm, which was a visionary for a lot of the streetscape, landscaping, the trail itself, for their involvement. It's beautiful. I mean, it is landscaped. We have pavers at the crosswalks, wonderful signage, pedestrian bridges that are lit up at night. If you haven't ridden your bike along the trail in the evening, I would encourage you to do so. It's quite lovely. And I think it's important to note that when we look at research that's been done by Brookings, for example, on what makes a successful innovation district. So for example, there was an article posted a year ago on the 12 guiding principles of a successful innovation district. One of those principles was the connectivity and proximity and an investment into infrastructure that creates that connectivity, which is what you see here. So investing in your bike shares, in your bike lanes, multi-use paths, fiber optic networks. This is really important. This is what the next generation wants. This is what's bringing people downtown. This is where we capture that density and that future development. So I think it's very exciting for our city as a whole that this exists, that we have linkages now connecting the Innovation Corridor even further with Winston-Salem State University, with Salem College and Academy, for example, and opportunities for future expansion, as we look north to the trail past MLK. And the corridor along the 40 corridor opportunity from Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center as well as to the trail. Any other questions about Long Branch? Okay. So I'd just like to end by, sharing, what we'll be doing in the future. What are we looking for? How can we improve? And I think what was great about being invited to the summit is that it really gave me a moment to pause and reflect on what we could do better. So how I would answer this question. I think we'll continue, of course, to stay the course and being advocates for bike lanes and for being pedestrian friendly and for serving as a platform to encourage others to bike and walk in our community. But, I did some research. So for example, RTP, disparate groups of buildings, of course, in their research triangle, has a number of trails, but they have a specific bike serve list that they use to encourage biking. They have biking resources on their website, which we have a parks and paths, but specific biking resources that I think could be really valuable, as well as potentially incentives. Maybe there's a free breakfast sandwich if you cycle to the office. And that might just be fill up for the next. But so I think there's a lot of opportunity. So I like to thank you for the opportunity to be thinking about those things and improving upon them. And if any of you have ideas of what we could be doing better, or if you'd like to partner with something, a potential program along the trail that we can help promote, eager to engage with you all. Yes.
I do have a comment about trails. In Danville, Virginia, they have a river walk trail where you walk, you can ride horses, you can ride bikes.
That's not part, okay, yeah,
And,
separate.
We did a study 5 years ago on low-speed e-bikes, and we resolved all the issues, and we came up with a list of recommendations for allowing low-speed e-bikes on walking trails and bicycle trails and so on. And so that is available to
Oh, thank
if
you.
you want that.
Thank you.
But any issue that came up, we've got to resolve.
Great. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank